Hello,
Hello.
Explorers! It is
June 5th.
June 5th. It is.
Wednesday.
And it's 102 degrees here
For us.
in sunny Central Valley, California. And we are on the comfy chair.
And it's still hot in this room with the air conditioner on. And we have Jim.
Our fan favorite.
From More Please.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Jim. Thank you so much. And we originally were going to do a different show. We were going to do one on the restaurants at Disneyland, because we are going to be there with Jim and some other channels
in August
for D23, and we're going to spend a couple of days in the parks. And so we were kind of give a little bit of an introduction of what restaurants are there in each land. Things changed a little bit because Jim, what do you have?
Was sponsored by us, D&G Explorers.
Jim, what do you have going on that we decided to change it, if you don't mind asking or answering?
Well, let me just start out by saying you didn't have to change it, but you were very kind. You had me in your thoughts. Tomorrow I'm having my very first colonoscopy. So today is all prep. So it's no eating. I'm sticking with clear liquids all day today. So you thought that it might be cruel to talk about so many restaurants and things to eat, which was very nice of you. But we can talk about that if you want.
No, this will be a fun one because Greg and I, we went down to we went down to Anaheim to downtown Disney, and we only went to downtown Disney.
I know. It was very hard for us.
We went
to not go into those parks.
We went specifically to meet another YouTube channel, DisLyfeOfOurs. So we did a little fun activity that you'll see a video within the next couple of weeks. But we went down there just for that, and we ended up being there the entire day. Yeah, so we had a great time.
Who knew you could actually do stuff all day in our small downtown Disney?
Exactly. And we didn't go into the parks, and we actually took a picture of it, like we couldn't get in, which was pretty funny. But
some people actually thought that we couldn't get in. They were saying, I don't know why they wouldn't let you guys in. That's not like Disney. I said, no, it was just we're acting like we couldn't get in.
We didn't want to spend $150 each, so you're looking at $300 to get into it. And as we found out, we could have actually been able to get into Galaxy's Edge, but we're saving up for a cruise. We have a few weeks
left. We could have
gotten
in there?
We could have, yes.
I don't know how.
I'll tell you that.
Thanks for keeping that from me there.
We need to save money because we're going on our cruise. We have to pay it off by June 24th, so we're wrapping up on that final payment on it. But it started us to think, people that are going to Disneyland maybe for the first time, or people that have never never been there, that we do for the first time. Is it a good time to go for them? And since Galaxy's Edge, if you guys aren't aware, you have to have currently reservations tickets to get in.
Well, there's plenty of things that people can do besides Galaxy's Edge.
Exactly, and we'll talk about that. But just in case they weren't aware of it, though, people who are staying at the Disney hotels, there's 3 of them there, they were able to get a designated time for one reservation, and they could go into Galaxy's Edge. Those are the only ones that are allowed into it until June 24th, when it's open up to the public.
And they'll still have a 4-hour time span, I think, at that point to keep the crowds low.
Well, yeah, I'm not too sure how it's going to look on June 24th, but currently there's a 4-hour window. So
I thought they were going to do it even then, too.
It would make sense. But so we thought, is it still worth it to go to Disneyland if you're not able to get access into a brand new land? So
and the answer is yes.
That's the theme show of tonight's show. And as we get ready to begin, a little bit about us. We do cruising, and we also do Disney shows. This is a Disney show, so welcome. I see in chat, and Greg will get to it in a little bit, who's here. We have Disney channels as well as cruising channels, so everyone, welcome. We hope you have a great time tonight. But if you forget our names, well, first of all, I'm Derick.
And I'm Gregory.
And if you forget our names, I'm Little Explorer.
You know I am making this face, and I guess I'm Big Explorer.
Thank you, Danny.
Don't know how to take
Danny's
that.
Danny's in chat tonight. I saw him earlier, so welcome. And so, yeah, we're going to have some fun. Jim will have some fun with you, so I'm glad you're on our show tonight. Thank you for always being our fan favorite and appearing on our show. And with that, Greg, who's here tonight? Welcome them.
So tonight we have Robert from Life with Favor. We have Danny McGlone, RVing to Disney. More Sunshine Please. Bob and Ashley. Tina the Cruising Librarian. Ruth Voorhees. Matthew and Lauren. Blaine 2007. Excuse me, I'm trying to get over a cold, so sorry for the sniffling. Katie Burr, DisLyfeOfOurs. Captain Akron 27. Sandra D's Adventures, I don't think I said. Journey with the Gingers. And Booze Cruise, JB Loves Disney. So welcome everybody, and thank you for coming to our show tonight.
Awesome. We've had some of the people that are in chat. They were with us on the Norwegian Bliss, which is Tina the Cruising Librarian and Katie Burr. So welcome, guys. Thank you. And also Sandra D. She's currently been releasing videos on the Symphony of the Seas. So Sandra, I still need to get with you because I need to ask you questions, because we're doing our group cruise next year in September 2020 and on the Symphony of the Seas. So I wanted to pick her brain on a few things that we have. DisLife is here. Thank you.
Disney Nerd Herders just came on, so welcome.
And Matthew and Lauren, who they're actually Disney cast members, they're in here. They have a YouTube channel. We were hoping that we could have been able to meet them later on, but our timing just didn't work out, unfortunately, for them. But we'll meet you guys soon.
Did you see what Disney Nerd Herder said?
No.
Hey guys, now Stacy is calling Gregory her old boyfriend. Look what I started.
That needs some explanation. You need to explain what that's all about.
I saw that there was a picture that looked like me.
Yes, Charlie from Disney Nerd Herders. There's a picture of them from the mid-90s, and he bears a striking resemblance to Big Explorer. So
Which I did not look like that in the 90s, but thank you.
I don't know if you said it, but JB Loves Disney. Welcome. Yep. We got Booze Cruise here. Welcome, David. Thanks for joining us. And I'm not sure if we missed anyone else. So you guys, this is going to be a little bit of fun. As you know, a historic event happened, and it was, oh, did I forget my other stuff here? I always seem to forget something.
Hold on. Let me see if well, this probably won't come out right. But.
Well, a land opened in Disneyland, which is pretty rare that it happened. The last time before that was, besides a whole new park in Disneyland, was Toontown would have been the newest land that opened up.
I'm trying to get this to go.
So I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying to get the sounds here.
May 31st was the grand opening of Galaxy's Edge.
It's not working.
And everything from what I've heard, because we've talked to DisLyfeOfOurs, they were there. If you guys haven't had a chance to look at their videos, they were there to film opening day. Everything that we've heard, it's gone very smoothly. The park, Disneyland Park, has been like a ghost town. People that we were talking to, like as we were leaving and we were crossing the street and we are going to the parking garage, we were talking to some people going across the street, and they were saying that they went on all the rides without having any wait. So that kind of surprised me that Disneyland would be so empty. Maybe it's scaring people away. I don't know. But we thought it would be fun then to just kind of discuss, well, besides the news, do you have any other news that you can think of?
It won't play.
It's all right. Do you have any other Disney news that you can think of? Because that's pretty big.
We did see the Aladdin movie, and it's still doing good in the theater. I kind of had my own mixed thoughts on it. I did like it, but then I kind of, some things I wish they would have kept in from the cartoon, but they changed it a little bit. I think all in all, it was a good movie, though. I know some people saw it twice, and they said give it another chance. I think it'll grow on you as you watch it. So is it one of my favorite live actions? Probably not. And I think I know I like the cartoon a lot better, but Will Smith did do an awesome job as the genie. So I would recommend to go see it. Have you seen it yet, Jim?
No, I haven't, but I want to. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rank it?
Probably I'd give it a 9.
Really?
Sure.
It is.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, well, I won't give it a 10 just because of the differences that I liked, but I didn't like. It's just it's really hard for me to explain my mixed feelings on it, but I still liked it a lot, and it kind of came full circle, and that's all I'm gonna say. So when you go see it, you'll find out why.
It took me a little bit to get into.
Yeah,
but after probably maybe the first 15 minutes, I got into it, and by the end of the movie, I liked how they wrapped everything up. So I came away at the beginning of it like thinking, I don't know if I like this. To the end, I really enjoyed it. So I would probably give it about an 8. So I don't know if I would be so high on as you.
Yeah, I'd probably go 8.5. I did also think that, which you would probably think as well, Jafar was kind of a weaker character. We kind of made fun of him when we saw the trailers, and it's kind of like that in the movie for the most part. So, but it was still a good movie. So.
But those are pretty high numbers that you guys gave the movie, so that's good news.
Yeah, I thought Will Smith did a good job.
As it went along, it got a lot better, especially with the genie and stuff, and the special effects were really cool. It's just some of the differences. I wish they would have kept certain jokes in from the cartoon, but the flow was a little different, and they changed a couple details from the cartoon, and you'll notice them. So.
One of the things I heard, I'm sorry, Derek, one of the things I heard was that it starts out maybe a bit slow, but once you reach the Cave of Wonders, then it takes off.
Yeah, and it starts out completely different from the cartoon. So
for me, it was a little bit after the Cave of Wonders when it started to pick up. But Booze Cruise were there for the previews at Galaxy's Edge. So that's pretty awesome, yeah. Matthew and Lauren said, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is more than a land. It's a trip to another planet. Everything I heard, they've nailed it with that land.
I mean, the pictures that I've seen were awesome. I've really tried not to look at anything because I want to see it for myself and from my own perspective. And then I'll look at everybody else on how they did things.
There was a question, Greg, for you.
Oh, I must have missed it. I had to restart my phone because I wasn't hearing anything on my phone.
But if we haven't said it, welcome Journey with the Gingers and Nurse Nancy. Thank you so much for joining us.
RVing to Disney said, "What's your favorite live action then?" Well, out of all the ones that we've had so far, I'd probably say Beauty and the Beast is my favorite live action so far. How many have they had? I don't know. Well, they've had 101 Dalmatians years back. They've had Beauty and the Beast. They've had Aladdin. I can't think of any others. Can you? Jim?
I don't know if you want to count the Jungle Book with that. Not strictly live action, but certainly a remake.
They will have Mulan coming out, I think, next year, and then the next live action that they're going to work on, I heard, was Snow White. Now, I think Disney already did Mirror Mirror, so I don't know if they're just going to go back to the real classic look of Snow White, like the actual classic story of the cartoon, or what they're going to do live action. That'll be interesting to see. But I really hope that they end up doing a Little Mermaid at some point. That would be really awesome. And then The Lion King is probably going to bump Beauty and the Beast down to my second favorite, I'm pretty sure. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think I actually like Beauty and the Beast too. So that would probably be my favorite one. All right, so tonight's show is when you don't have tickets to Galaxy's Edge.
What do you do in Disney?
What do you do? So we're going to go and
it's not like there's a lot to do in Disney.
Now, Jim was 2 weeks old when he went on his last so he doesn't remember a whole lot about it.
A little tight.
I was 6 years old.
So we're
still a little tight.
For his side, because again, we'll be there together in August for D23. It's going to be more of what you're looking forward to.
Now,
don't be looking at my list.
No, really quick. Do you remember any ride that you went on, and what was your favorite ride at that time, if you can go back that far?
No, I don't remember anything. Here's what's funny. We also went to Universal Studios on that trip, and I remember more about Universal Studios than I do about Disneyland.
You're not a true Disney fan then. No.
I even remember Knott's Berry Farm more than I remember Disneyland, and I don't know why.
Why are you holding up?
This is to honor tonight's show, so dilly dilly, everyone.
Well, this
Cheers,
is
Dilly
cheers,
Dilly.
dilly dilly. This is actually just brisk iced tea. It's not alcohol, but dilly dilly anyway.
This is a cherry Pepsi and
Hey,
Dilly dilly.
Jim.
Some spiced rum, I think I put in there.
And
Dilly
Jim
dilly.
has dilly dilly water because that's all he can drink right now.
That poor guy. All right, so say this is your first time. We're going to start at our number 5. Greg, do you want to start the ceremonies? What is your number?
Did you explain how Jim's going to do it, though?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I didn't even hear you.
Yes, so
Wait, explain it again. Explain it again.
It's fun to explain
He
it.
doesn't remember.
He is looking forward to visiting. We're going to say our side will be, Greg will say 5, I'll say 5 on what we feel are the top 5 reasons why you should visit Disneyland when you don't have tickets to Galaxy's Edge. So number 5 for you.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to flip-flop because I don't know. Wait, no, I won't. No, I won't. I did 1 down to 5. Okay, so 5 would be people watching. Okay, so I kind of combined a couple things because I couldn't just make a list of 5 separate things. So people watching and photo options, like selfies or photo pass.
Oh, I thought you meant photos with the people.
No, but if they want to take a photo, why not? And hidden Mickeys, because there's a lot of hidden Mickeys. And I'm gonna give Jim a little, not a chore, but what is the word I'm looking for? I can't think right now.
Sorry, I was looking at chat.
I'm gonna give Jim something to look for. Basically something to do on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I want you to tell me when you go on it if you can find the hidden Mickey on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
There's only one?
As far as we know, yes.
Okay.
If you can't find it, I'll be very shocked.
All right.
But, what was that?
He's writing it down.
Oh, okay.
I am the hidden Mickey on Pirates of the Caribbean. Got it.
So people watching, we just, because you have to, don't be looking at my list. Because people, when you walk around a lot, you get, tired and everything. So we like to just sit down on the bench and people watch and listen to the sounds and, sights and smells and everything of the food. And then the photo options, you got photo passes and you can do your own photos. And we're big on photos. And then hidden Mickeys are always fun to look for. There's plenty of them in Disneyland. I don't know if there's any in California Adventures, but there's a whole book on hidden Mickeys at Disneyland. So that's my number 5.
Okay. Very good. I'll start the next one. Whenever we enter, since this was a park that Walt Disney built, this is why we love Disneyland so much. When you walk in the gates and you go underneath the bridge that has the railway station, you're going to walk into Town Square. To the left of Town Square is Walt's apartment. When Walt Disney was alive, when he was in the park, they would have the lamp on, so the cast members knew that Walt was there in residence at that time. Well, when Walt Disney passed away in 1966, they now, in honor of him, always leave the lamp on that you can, as you walk by, you can always see it. So one of the things, we look at it as the history of the park, but one of the things we always do, we always stop and we wave up at the apartment. So that's one of the things we do. It's kind of a fun thing, but it's unique to Disneyland, and to know that if you've never been at Disneyland before, that was Walt's apartment where he actually would look out the window. If you're a nostalgic, then that is one of the cool things to look at, walking through Walt's footsteps. So that is my number 5. Jim, changing it a little bit, what are you, number 5, are you looking forward to?
I guess it's Greg kind of already touched on this, but I'm looking forward to having my memory jogged a bit, because I was so young when I was there. The only time I was ever there was 1977, and I want to go there and see if anything sparks a memory. So I think the first thing on my list is to see whether I remember anything at all, because right now I don't. But I'm wondering when I enter the park, if something's going to jog my memory. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see.
I don't think it will. There's been so many changes to the park, unfortunately. And I think, go ahead. I think we're coming around to our first little segment break. So
excuse me.
It's time for...
Are we ready? Chat check. Is that creepy? Sorry. I'll yell it next time.
Not really.
Chat check brought to you by More Sunshine, Please.
The quicker picker-upper.
You did.
Oh, more sunshine, please. The quicker picker-upper.
All right. So we have some more people that came in.
Yes.
We had Little Oz Laurel from Australia.
Rob Souter, Nurse Nancy.
Jessica Sandis. Derek Silva.
Yep. And he was saying hi to us before, and he said that we adopted him from Life with Favor. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Life with Favor is awesome. Robert is on our show a lot. So Robert, thank you so much.
Yes.
We had such a good time meeting you guys on the Bliss.
You mentioned Disney Nerd Herders.
Disney Nerd Herders asked a question saying, how is it hard to get to LAX to Disneyland?
Not really.
Now, what I didn't realize is they actually have a shuttle, and I think DisLyfeOfOurs took the shuttle from LAX to Disneyland. It's about 15 minutes away, so it's a little bit just depending on the traffic because it is off of a busy freeway, the 405. So it just kind of depends on what time of the day you're going, what construction's going on. Normally what we do is we go straight down to Long Beach and then go south of Disneyland and come back up. That seems to be the quickest way for us. But you're looking about 50 minutes to an hour. It can be bad. We are picking up Jim at the airport when we go. We're hoping it won't be too bad. But if they have the Disney shuttle, that's if you're staying at a Disney hotel, they should be able to get you set up through that. So
Ruth Voorhees said, now I'm craving a Dole Whip. Ruth Voorhees, you can crave a Dole Whip, but how about craving a Dole Whip donut? We've actually tried that, and it's really, really good. So I would strongly recommend it if you're able to get one at some point.
Sandra D. Adventures. I'm going to Walt Disney World in July, so I'll be looking for the hidden Mickey too. Wait, is this at Walt Disney World or Land? They actually have them in both, so you can definitely look for the Mickeys, hidden Mickeys for your heart's content. What else?
I really wish that they would bring the card game to Disneyland that Walt Disney World has at Magic Kingdom. We did that one time. I don't know if you've done that, Jim, where you get those cards and you put them in front of the sensor picture thing and it like comes to life and stuff and has you do things. Have you done that?
No, we haven't done that, nor have I done, they have a pirate one over in Adventureland. And that one looks even better to me. I've seen somebody do that. But no, I haven't done either.
I wish we had that here. It was a lot of fun. Although they did that in the firehouse of Walt Disney World, which was kind of set up a little different. So I don't think they would do that at ours. They would probably just maybe have it around the corner from it or something because they'd have to redo it a little bit. But it was still a fun thing to do.
Matthew and Lauren said, if you want a shorter trip, fly into SNA, which is it still called John Wayne Airport, or is it now SNA, which is the airport in Anaheim. It's a shorter trip, and they have a shuttle there as well. Ruth Voorhees says, what am I living under? Oh, what I'm living under a rock being a nurse. This is in comment about the hidden Mickeys. And then Derek Silva said, when I leave for Europe in May 2020 to almost the end of June, I will try to go to Disneyland in Paris.
That was a fun one.
That was our first vlogs that we ever filmed when we started our channel.
One of our first vlogs, yeah.
So if you're interested in kind of seeing what it is, definitely check that out. But we had an awesome time. You would love Disneyland Paris.
DisLyfeOfOurs said the Super Shuttle was approximately $55. It was shared. It was a shared ride, though. There was one more passenger with us.
Jenny H is here. Welcome. Alan Carter is here. Welcome, guys. Thank you.
I like the Magic. I almost said the Magic School Bus. The Magic bus from at Walt Disney World that takes you to
Express,
the parks.
The
Magic Express. That one's fun too. I wish we had that here.
Yeah. All right. That's the.
Being to Disney, it's the Dole Whip donut like an upside down pineapple cake.
It's like a lemon meringue.
We did a video on it, didn't we?
We filmed it.
Oh, we never released it?
But I think I deleted the video by mistake.
It almost reminds me of, didn't I say it was kind of like a Krispy Kreme
With a lemon meringue.
type taste with a lemon meringue, but it had like a pineapple fluff kind of thing on top of it. And the only place we saw it at was in front of the Disneyland Castle on your left side, on a little cart.
Yeah.
But they're really
It's right
good.
on the hub.
I mean, they're big enough to share with two people if you don't like all that sweetness.
All right, we are now going to go to number 4. So when you don't have tickets to Galaxy's Edge, what are top 5 things that you can do in Disneyland still? Number 4, Greg.
Number 4, sorry, Jim. Number 4 is dining. So all that all that wonderful food, the smells of the food, the sights of the food. I mean, they really pump out the smell of like popcorn and sweets and stuff throughout the park to purposely get you to go and buy some. But just the regular dining, there's a place where you can get some really good fried chicken. That's the Plaza Inn. That one, for what you pay, for the price you pay, you get a lot of food. It's like 3 big pieces of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, greens, biscuit, and then you can buy a dessert on the side. But it's really
that dessert, the strawberry shortcake.
Oh yeah,
from my memory, it's like the one from Hoop to Do Review.
It's not the same, I don't think,
but it's incredibly close.
It's good though.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of food and it's worth the price. And then another one that we highly recommend is the at the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Blue Bayou. That if you haven't been to Disneyland, that's a must. You have to at least experience it once, especially when you're on the ride and you look to your right and you see the restaurant there. It almost calls to you.
Where else can you have an expensive meal and you can't see it?
Oh my God!
So you don't know what you're eating.
You can see your food. You can see your food. And then the Lamplight Lounge. That's a really good place.
That's the other part.
That's still Disneyland.
No, it's Disneyland.
Okay, we'll stick with Disneyland. Okay, Starbucks. No. But yeah, there's a lot of good places to eat at Disneyland. So that would be my number 4 is dining.
Very good. So my number 4 is, if you've been to Walt Disney World and you've never been to Disneyland, then I would say ride the rides that are unique to Disneyland. So Moments with Mr. Lincoln, which was in the World's Fair. It's the Lincoln that was in the World's Fair from 1964-65. When we brought it over to Disneyland. They still have that there. It's just one audio animatronic, not like Walt Disney World where you have all the presidents in there. So that is unique. They have stuff like the Matterhorn, which is unique to Disneyland. I would recommend, if you have a bad back, ride that at the very end of the day, so you don't have to worry about having a bad back. But there's
you just have a bad back at the end of the day, so you're gonna have to worry.
There is like the Mr. Toad's Wild Adventure, Alice in Wonderland. There is the submarines that have the little Nemo attraction in it. So there's a lot of different rides there. Finding Nemo, Indiana Jones. But in addition to that, some people will say, oh, I don't want to go to, like if they go to both parks, and one in Florida and one in Disneyland, they'll say, I don't want to go on that ride because I went on that in Walt Disney World. We love to go on the different rides because we like to compare. There's not a ride which is identical in blueprint to what it is, so it's themed a little bit different. They might be named the same, but I will tell you, certain rides in Disneyland, like Pirates of the Caribbean, is a lot different experience than going into the one in Walt Disney World, because they actually weren't going to build the one in Walt Disney World. It was supposed to be another attraction, but people showed up to Walt Disney World and said, "Where's the Pirates ride?" Well, it's in Disneyland.
I personally like our Pirates better than Walt Disney World for a certain reason, which I will not say because some people haven't been on it yet. So Jim, you'll experience it.
Those are kind of the unique things, the rides themselves. In addition to what you can't get into Galaxy's Edge, there's a lot of history and uniqueness to Disneyland Park.
And really quick, because I'm going to forget this, and where is it? Somebody asked about Indiana Jones. I don't remember who. I can't see it on here. But Indiana Jones is a really awesome ride. I think it's better than the dinosaur ride. Just my opinion.
Those rides are
Disney Nerd
identical.
Herders asked it.
Those rides are identical tracks,
But
it's a completely different experience.
And I like dinosaurs, but I was kind of let down with the actual ride. But I heard it's gotten a little better with some screens and stuff. But Indiana Jones is awesome. There's nothing like it.
All right, Jim, what is the number 4 thing you are looking forward to in the rides?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of what you were just talking about. It's the things that we don't have here in Florida that I'm really looking forward to riding there specifically. And I don't know which park each ride is in exactly, but the Indiana Jones ride, I definitely want to try. The Matterhorn, Mr. Toad, of course, the Incredicoaster, that's in California Adventure, right? Yeah. Radiator Springs Racers, that's something else you guys have that we don't have here. So that's next on my list. The stuff that we just don't have here, I want to try it when I'm there.
You're going to have a lot of fun.
All right, I think it's time for...
No, I wasn't ready. Here we go. You ready? Chat check!
Chat check brought to you by More Sunshine, Please. More Sunshine, Please. Raise a glass in the air and dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly!
Dilly dilly.
All right, I don't know if we welcome Captain Akron, so welcome. Donnie Purcell is here. Why?
Our Disney Adventures just came on with us. Thank you.
Welcome.
Disney Nerd Herder said, "Will you 3 be going live from the parks together?" I'm sure we'll be doing vlogging. I don't know if we'll go live. If we go live, it won't be long because there's no free Wi-Fi there unless you want to use up your internet. I don't know how much internet I'll have at that point.
We probably will, just depending.
I don't use a lot of non-Wi-Fi, so I should have enough.
We had Derek Silva made a comment.
Jim, do you plan on going live when you're there as well at Disneyland?
You know, maybe a little bit. I didn't know that Disneyland didn't have Wi-Fi. Not that that matters much, but that's an interesting point you made. But yeah, maybe just for a little bit, not terribly long. I know when I went live yesterday from Epcot, it devoured my battery. But
as far as I know, they don't have Wi-Fi for public to use. I mean, like in your hotels and stuff they do, but on the parks I don't think they have Wi-Fi.
One interesting thing, we talk about how one of our goals as a channel is to introduce cruising family to the Disney family and the Disney family to the cruising family. Nurse Nancy just went to Disney Springs and they met up with Sharon at Sea, which are 2 cruising communities, and Sharon at Sea were in Walt Disney World for a couple of days after they had gone on to, I believe it was the Symphony of the Seas that they had gone on to. Definitely, I know Nurse Nancy just released a video on that, so definitely check that out. It's really cool to see the different communities doing the crossovers like that. So awesome job. I know Derek had mentioned something. If he won the lot Mega Million, he would fly you and us and I think the Life with Favor over to I think it was Disneyland Paris. I think it was.
Oh wow!
Thank you. That would be awesome.
That'd be our second time going. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
The 30th anniversary is coming up too.
I will fly y'all with Life and Favor to Europe and join me on a cruise, but I have bad news. The cruise is not Disney, it's Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas. I would still like to go on that one.
We are doing a Royal Caribbean at some point.
Yes. Marianne Hermosa is here. Welcome. You for Wisdom Videos. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much. We have 23 people watching right now, so thank you for joining us. We are doing... When you don't have tickets to Galaxy's Edge,
what do you do?
What do you do? Should you still go to Disneyland? So from our side, we're saying things why, and Jim hasn't been there in a long time. He will in August, so he's talking about things he's interested in seeing. So we're down to number 3. So Greg, number 3.
I might have to change mine because it kind of went with, I don't know, let me see. Okay, so my number 3 kind of went with number 5 with people watching, I guess, walking in the parks, enjoying the atmosphere. So we don't always have to go on the rides. You know, you can walk through the parks. You can walk through downtown Disney. I'll just include that together. But you can just walk through, enjoy the sights, the sounds, the smells. watching other people, you know, have a good time, observing the crowds, you know, how.
Wasn't it your number 5, people watch?
That's what I'm saying. It kind of went with this, but but it's kind of funny because natural lines start, like in Tomorrowland, you'll see it's almost like a 2-way lane. Like people are going this way and other people are going this way. So it's just funny to see how different people react to different things, and you overhear people on their thoughts, you know, compared to Walt Disney World, which I've heard of. I actually like standing in line with people. I'm a people person, and I like to talk. So if I see somebody like sitting or standing, you know, in back of me or in front, and they talk about something, I'll kind of chime in, I guess, or I'll kind of talk with them, and you know, we'll just conversate, and it just comes natural to me. So I think just doing things like that and enjoying, you know, the whole Disney experience would be my number 3.
Very good. All right, my number 3 is, we already said it, eat at the Blue Bayou. The Blue Bayou is a unique restaurant, but there's other restaurants there, and Disney's constantly changing and tweaking little things around. For example, I was looking at the map of Galaxy's Edge to find out where certain things were. They used to have a breakfast at the Lilybell Terrace, which is on the border between Adventureland and Frontierland, and you used to be able to get breakfast there. You get the Tom Sawyer, which was a combination of scrambled eggs, waffles, pancakes. You can do different things. They moved it over to the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
But now it's gone. It's not there anymore.
What?
Because I was looking at what they offered when I was writing the list down. I believe it's been moved to Fantasyland. They no longer have. They renamed it the Red Rose Lantern or Inn or something like that. Breakfast is served there, so
they still have breakfast.
It looks like they've moved it to that spot over there. So Disney's constantly tweaking a little things here and there. But
we love their breakfast.
Blue Bayou is a unique, and when you're on the Pirates of the Caribbean and you launch, you have the restaurant right there before you go down. Well, I'm not going to say anything, but you go by it, and it's always neat to see that hustle and bustle of the restaurant as you're going on the ride. So it's a good, unique experience if you've never eaten at the park inside an attraction before. My number 3. Jim, you're number 3.
I will continue on with the food theme here. So my number 3 will be I'm interested in getting some of those iconic Disneyland snacks. And I wrote down a list because I had to look it up. I'm very familiar with churros, and I understand, and maybe you can straighten me out on this, that Disneyland churros are better than Disney World churros. Is that correct? Or are they the same?
They have Star Wars themed churros from what I've seen. They look like lightsabers. We haven't tried them. I'm not a big churro person myself, but
I am.
Churros are better than the funnel cake.
Churros are good when they're fresh.
Yeah.
If they've been sitting there for a little bit, then they're hard and crunchy, and they're not very good. So I don't know about the comparison between Walt Disney World. I think they're harder to find in Walt Disney World, and there's a lot more varieties that you can get different flavors in Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. They have different flavors. Like one is like a maple bacon one, if I remember right.
I do like churros. I like them better than the funnel cakes because you know me, I can't eat a full funnel cake. It's too sweet for me. It's too much.
There is also a fried green tomato sandwich at the Hungry Bear restaurant. Now, they have a fried green tomato sandwich that I really like here in Hollywood Studios, so I wouldn't mind trying that to compare. If they still have it, you mentioned they're changing things all the time. Maybe it's gone. I don't know. What else? There's a Pixar Pier Parfait, which I guess is kind of like a Dole Whip, but it's lemon instead of pineapple. So that sounded kind of good to me. The beignets. And one of the things I hear most of all is it's a drink, the mint julep. I would really like to try the mint julep. What are your thoughts on any of those things?
You can get the mint julep at the Blue Bayou also, and I think the glass will actually come like glow in the dark or lit if you want that specialty cup as well. There's one that you don't know about, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
I would say, can you click all the above?
Oh, there's one that I would want you to try that you probably don't know about. It's only in Fantasyland by this little theater that they do little prince and princesses shows. It's Maurice's, not tavern, but Maurice's. It's like a big wagon type thing, but it's Maurice from Beauty and the Beast. And you can get the gray stuff. They have like these twists. It's like a dough twist with chocolate intertwined or strawberry intertwined, or they have a garlic one, which is probably my personal favorite. And they also come with little dipping things that you can do. Like the garlic one has cheese, and I think they have like a chocolate or berry dip or something for the others. But I would recommend that. And then they also have the it's like an apple juice slushy type of a thing that you can get as well, which is pretty good. It's like the poison apple, something like that, I think is what it's called.
They might have that at Gaston's though in Fantasyland in Disney World,
but
Magic Kingdom.
No, they have them there. They have them here too.
I know it's probably the same thing as it.
But yeah, you should try the Maurice cart, whatever they call it. It has the word name Maurice in it.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
A few other people joined us. Pepper Tree Villa, welcome, and also PTV2, which should be Ben. We have AGC Magic TV joined us, and I thought I
Did you say you for Wisdom Videos?
Yep, and then just Pamela.
Mary Ann Mimosa.
Yep. Do they have hand-dipped corn dogs at Magic Kingdom?
Yes.
Pepper Tree Villa. Is that over at the Coca-Cola thing?
No, it's at, they have it at Sleepy Hollow Refreshments in Liberty Square.
What's the, being that we're talking about it, what's that one place by Splash Mountain that we go to for lunch sometime? It has a really good lobster roll. If you like lobster, they put a lot of lobster meat in it.
The Harbor Galley, I believe. It's right next to where they dock the...
right by Rivers of America.
Columbia ship.
I would highly recommend that while you're there for like a lunch. It comes with, I think, chips. So kettle chips or something like that. But the roll is really good. There's a lot of lobster meat in it, and it's real lobster meat. So
Donnie Purcell asks, where is the best place in the land to have a cocktail? We're assuming it means Disneyland. It would not be inside Disneyland Park because it's a non-alcoholic. Although I think they might have it at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, in the tavern,
which you can't get in, which is what you do when you don't have tickets.
California Adventures has plenty of alcohol for you, though.
Yes, as
Wine
well
and
as
beer.
Outside of Disneyland, the two parks face each other. So say this is Disneyland, this is California Adventure. Going in the middle is downtown Disney, which goes to the Disney hotels. And they have, it's like Trader Sam's grog in Polynesian. I think it's called Trader Sam's, which is Trader Sam's.
Trader Sam's.
That's
in Disneyland.
An interactive bar. That was the first one they had, and then they brought it over to the Polynesian. So they have a fun place like that. And then
that's at the Disneyland Hotel, though.
Disney California Adventure, there's alcohol just about everywhere.
And if you're ever going to go to the Trader Sam's bar at the Disneyland Hotel, sometimes it's really hard to get in there because it's such a small space. There's not a lot of room in there. Sometimes they have a line out the door and you're just waiting to get in there. But they do serve a little bit of food too, I think.
Disney Nerd Herders said Walt Disney World's fifth gate is going to be called Dilly Dilly Land. Dilly Dilly.
Thank you. Dilly Dilly.
Dilly.
Yes, this Pepper Tree Villa said DCA has margaritas too, so they have a lot of alcohol at Disney California Adventure. Okay, we are number two on when you don't have tickets to Galaxy's Edge. What do you do at Disneyland? Greg, you're number two.
My number two. That would be number two. Sign. So my number two would be shopping. Nothing like Disneyland shopping, especially on the Main Street area. They have a lot of cool, unique shops. There's a really nice glass shop that I like to go into a lot. It has
they have it in there too. The Rivas,
Yeah.
Brothers or something like that. Kariba Brothers or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they have glass mugs. They got crystals. But I think in Walt Disney World they have that one area where they actually make the blown glass, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have that here in our Disneyland.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They don't blow the glass here in Disneyland. They do it at Walt Disney World.
You're right. I went to the wrong part for a minute. That's a Magic Kingdom.
It would be cool. I mean, I could sit there all day and watch people blow glass and make different shapes. It's so fun and cool to watch. But I like that shop. They also have the Steve Martin Magic shop area that's still there, but then that has a bunch of other things in there too.
They have a lot of pins in there too.
We look for pins and books. I've collected different Tigger glasses from Walt Disney World, Disneyland. There'll be different sizes. There'll be different pictures on them. Sometimes even if it's the same picture, if it's from Walt Disney World and then one from Disneyland, I'll collect those as well. So we do figurines and things like that, but we like books, and some of the clothes and stuff. So just the shopping experience. Downtown Disney has the World of Disney, so there's a lot of shopping that you can do, to pass the time.
And sometimes you can find product in one that you won't find in another. So that's always kind of cool, just to go in shops, just to kind of look around to see what they offer. And the cool thing is they have them in Walt Disney World too, though. Is like when you go to Starbucks, they usually have themed mugs that come out.
Collectors.
Yeah.
Mugs.
So we got one from the Haunted Mansion, which was really cool, and as well as them just coming out with different ones at times.
Well, those crews, the ones with the anchors that are different characters, we got those at one shop that another shop didn't have. That was the one shop we got them at. That was the only shop that had them left, I think, because they were discontinuing them.
Yeah. So
you can find discontinued items in certain shops that others don't have.
Disney Nerd Herder says, do they have Steve Martin stuff in Disneyland since he worked there, right? I don't remember seeing anything. I'm not even sure if I saw books on them, but there is, they do talk about it a lot. In fact, the movie that plays is still there playing. It talks about him and him working at Disneyland.
At the moments when Mr. Lincoln.
Yeah. But I don't remember seeing anything specifically with like any books that had him.
Now, because we're talking about shopping, really quick, 2 stories. One, we had a friend that just bought a ball cap, and I think they were on Thunder Mountain, and it flew off his head. And they went to the store to buy another one, and they explained what happened. And they said, well, because Disney is all about Disney magic, we're going to go ahead and give you the hat for free. So he didn't have to pay for it. Another person also, a bigger purchase, had Disney pants, and they snagged their pants, and they explained to the shop what happened. And they actually were able to just swap out the pants and not have to pay for them as well. So with Disney shopping comes Disney magic. You never know what you're going to get, kind of like a box of chocolates.
Well, even saying that, I don't remember the exact circumstance, but we were taking a picture by that one Maurice cart that you're talking about. And
oh, yeah.
And the cast member came over because I didn't have any food. I think you guys did.
We were all going to take a picture with food.
And I didn't have one.
No.
So he came over and he gave
me...
you
got to have one too.
He gave me a free, it was a twist, I think it was. So, and then he took the picture of us. So, so
they really go out of their way. I hope he didn't get in trouble, but because they got cameras everywhere. But they really go out of their way to make your Disney experience awesome and magical.
Yeah. All right. My number 2 must see in Disneyland is Fantasmic. Fantasmic is fantastic. I was actually let down when I went to see the Fantasmic version in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that's I was talking about it the other day.
Yeah, the experience at Disneyland around the Rivers of America is a lot more unique. It's a lot more intimate. There's a lot more people in there. But they do have reserved viewing. They have stuff where you can do a dining package, just like the one in Walt Disney World, and you get different seats, reserved seats. They had some before, and I don't know, this is where it might be a little bit different. Some of them, I think you just sit on the floor, but we've had them before where we sat in chairs and we got like a little dessert meal with it, but we got to sit on chairs as we watched the show. But the Fantasmic show is different. It's more unique. And if you want to see any one of the nighttime shows, comparing it to fireworks or the Fantasmic, I would say definitely Fantasmic is a must-see for anyone that goes to Disneyland. So that is my number 2. Jim. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were doing a chat check or not. So
We'll do that.
I didn't want to just jump in.
We'll do that next one because I know there's some
All
questions that have come up on here.
All right, next on my list would be, and you had mentioned it before, both Anaheim and Orlando have many of the same attractions. So I'm very interested to ride the same attractions that they have there and here as well. But I want to be discerning about it. For example, I think Greg mentioned earlier that the Haunted Mansion, or no, that Pirates of the Caribbean is better in Anaheim than it is here. So that's one I would definitely want to try. However, I've heard just the opposite about the Haunted Mansion. So that isn't necessarily on the top of my list. I would certainly go on that ride, but that wouldn't, I don't know how much time we're going to have or what our days are going to be like. But if we're short on time, maybe Haunted Mansion is one I would skip. But there's also Space Mountain. I've heard that the one in California is a better experience. Pirates of the Caribbean we mentioned. It's a small world. It's so much different, I've heard, in Anaheim than it is here. The Buzz Lightyear ride is better, I've heard, in Anaheim. So I don't know how similar that is to Space Ranger Spin here in the Magic Kingdom, but I want to compare and contrast those similar rides in both parks. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll be able to go on everything, and I think Haunted Mansion, I agree with Walt Disney World's being a little better because it's different. They have things added. It's bigger. But I also like the one in Disneyland because that's what I'm used to. That's what I knew first. And then Space Mountain, the one in Walt Disney World has a specific sound that it does that we don't have here. And I love the sound it makes. And it's just a different feeling that ours doesn't have. So it's a little bit different theming. They have the little games that you can play while you're in the queue. We don't have them. Spoiler alert. But there are some differences, but we'll do everything. So,
and in the Haunted Mansion, California has a bullet in the glass. Walt Disney World doesn't have a bullet.
Oh my gosh! Well, only because somebody tried to do something they weren't supposed to do. So
that's always fun when you're on the scene, when you're going on the balcony and you see that the dancers. There is one window pane that has a bullet mark in it. But
you have to explain the reason why they did not change that whole plane of glass is because they had to helicopter it in. They have to take the top off of the Haunted Mansion to slide the glass in because it's such a long pane of glass. So all they did was put like the curtain and a spider web in there, in that area, so you don't see the bullet hole. But other than that, it kind of just blends right in.
All right. I think it is time, as we get ready to go to the last question, it is time for...
Here comes the chat check!
Chat check brought to you by More Sunshine, Please. More Sunshine, Please. Life is but a dream.
Not a dream. All right.
A lot is going on.
We had Chris from Disney World Adventures came in.
Welcome.
We had a question. Ruth Voorhees is heading out. Thank you, Ruth, for joining us.
Thank you.
She wishes you luck on the colonoscopy tomorrow. And
thanks.
We have one question is, what are our favorite resorts out of Walt Disney World and Disneyland? I think that's what the question was.
Well,
3 hotels. Oh, wait, that's.
I personally stayed on 3 that are actually on Disney property.
What is your favorite resort to stay at among all the parks from Disneyland and Walt Disney World? And Jim, you can pipe in on that too, because I'm sure you stayed in the
way more than we have.
Yeah, I think we've stayed in every value and moderate resort, and I'll say I mentioned this before. Our favorite as a family, we love Fort Wilderness. We've camped there in a tent. We've stayed in an RV, and we've done the cabins there as well. And they all present a unique experience, and it's so much fun. We went one year, many years ago. We went to Fort Wilderness, and we stayed there for 3 days, and we never went to the park. We stayed in Fort Wilderness.
Wow.
So there's a lot to do there for families, great shows, great food. It's just a blast. So Fort Wilderness would be my favorite.
Your
Danny
favorite?
McGlone, thank you. Have a good night. Thank you for
Danny.
Watching us. Well, I've stayed at Paradise Pier here in California. That's the only one I've ever stayed on for property. But I think my favorite would be the Port Orleans Riverside in Walt Disney World. That was a really nice resort. And then we also like the Value Resort Pop Century. We've been there twice, and we seem to really like that one. There's just something about it. The theming is different in different areas, so that's a lot of fun.
Part of the uniqueness, or what I like in a resort, is like the food court, like a quick, easy and out food court. I stayed at Pirates of the Caribbean. I stayed at the Caribbean Beach Resort. I stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, Coronado Springs. I don't know if Coronado Springs is different, but they didn't have a buffet at that time, and that was quickly my least favorite one. But we like Pop Century just because of the ease to get in, to get out. We like Port Orleans Riverside a lot too. That was probably, I would say, the one. I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel. I stayed at the Paradise Pier. I stayed at the Grand Californian. Those are beautiful hotels.
Paradise Pier is kind of a beachy feel to it. Yeah. It's very colorful, and I remember there's a surfer Mickey or Goofy statue. Goofy's with a surfboard when you first walk in, and then you have the eatery kind of right behind him on the right, I think. But it's a really, like, you think of sunshine and sunniness when you walk into that place. It's very light and colorful. It's a nice resort. I've only been there once though, but it was really cool.
They're all talking about the cost. Yeah, in terms of cost, it starts with the Paradise Pier, then it goes to Disneyland Hotel, and then the Grand Californian is the most expensive one on Disney property in California.
I've never even stayed there, and I would love to, even for a night.
This is cool. RVing to Disney. Last Thanksgiving when we were at Disneyland, the lady in front of us paid for our meal. It was super sweet, and I kind of paid it for her too. And
Who said that?
And kind. I paid for it too. RVing to Disney.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. You know, you guys, I forgot one thing. We forgot. I can't believe that we did this.
Well, it's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late. So, if you guys are creators, please put creators in the channel. Those of you who are watching, please definitely check out the creators that are on here. We have Disney channels, cruising channels, and just add a little bit about what you guys are, maybe what you're working on, maybe what you just released, so we can check, so they can check you out. One of our things that we wanted to do this year in our second year of YouTubing is really support other channels and pay it forward, as we talk about paying it forward. Just thank everyone who supported us. So this is our chance in year two to pay it forward to everyone out there and really say how much we appreciate you guys for all the efforts that you've done. But as we start a new segment here, this is our Spotlight channel. So today...
That's when he goes coal mining. That's what he wears.
Yeah, I apologize for not doing this earlier. Our Spotlight channel today is DisLyfeOfOurs. So a Spotlight channel is someone who that we talk about that has meant something to us over the time that we've become involved with them. And we were talking about it. We actually met up with them in downtown Disney.
We got to meet them in person for the first time this past Sunday.
We went to Pop-Up Disney, which is a photo opportunity event that you have to pay for. And then we also went to the Black Tap restaurant and had lunch with them. And we walked around for a little bit. But we were talking, like, how did we get to know them? And it was I think the name of the channel is Theme Park Kid. Is that right? Theme Park Adventures, Theme Park Kid. We were watching it when they were opening the Toy Story Land. And I noticed that they were on there. And then through that, I figured out who their name was. And from there, I quickly follow them. And those are one of the channels that when I watch, even if I'm having a down, kind of sad day, they always make me smile, and they always make a good end of the day for me. So we became friends. I chat a lot with Rachel. Every week we're chatting about something. So they are one of our support channels. And it's just really cool to have a channel where you can meet and you become friends. And when we met them, it's like we weren't like first time meeting.
We already knew them.
We knew them. So they're our support channel. If you guys haven't had a chance to check them out, they went to Galaxy's Edge, so they definitely are going to have videos released on that. They did release the first one. So DisLyfeOfOurs, Spotlight Channel, 2019.
Wow, okay. For this show.
All right, so what else do we have here? Robert from Life with Favor, thank you so much. You guys check out Life with Favor. They're doing a cruise on the Carnival Legend right now. Really cool. They're selling in Alaska, so definitely check them out. Did we miss any other questions before we go to the last one?
I see there's some confusion with the your light. Disney Nerders may be under the wrong impression that you are performing my colonoscopy tomorrow. You are not. That was just a prop, a light, spotlight.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm gonna go to a trained professional tomorrow.
Jim, I do have the blue rubber gloves.
Oh wow.
Keep them in the drawer. We don't need them.
Family-friendly show, everybody.
And DisLyfe, she says, "Oh well, thank you. You're gonna make us cry in front of our children." It was so great. I was thinking about it. You guys had a chance to go to Galaxy's Edge and have that great weekend, and you had a chance to meet all these different channels. For us, meeting DisLyfe, people that we've been, getting to know, that was our Galaxy's Edge moment of the weekend, because we went down specifically to hang out with them. So thank you for spending time away from the parks to hang out with us. We were deeply honored for that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Disney, Pop-Up Disney. That was
JB
fun.
loves Disney. Awesome. We have been on the Legend twice. Great ship. Yeah, they redid it recently, it looks like. And that's a really cool looking ship. I really like that. All right. So when you don't have tickets to Galaxy's Edge, what do you do at Disneyland? So this is the last question.
Our number one.
We just went over an hour, so we're almost up with our time, but
well, not really. We can go for an hour and a half. I didn't know we had a time limit. So
what is your number one, Greg, that you would recommend?
So my number one is one of my favorites. I love the fireworks and I love the parades. I don't always get to watch the parades. So I will say fireworks, parades, Phantasmic, and World of Color. So basically all the shows encompassing. But there's nothing like Disneyland fireworks. They always do really beautiful theming. I don't know what it is now. I'm sure they've changed it. I think the last time we saw it was Wishes. But they do really nice fireworks shows, especially during Christmas. Just the decor and everything as a show in itself. But the Halloween shows, that they do, the Mickey's Not So Scary, and then the Very Merry Christmas parties. They do a lot of theming for their shows, and their decor. What?
I'm just reading the chat. Sorry.
So yeah, I like our. No offense to Walt Disney World, but I think our Phantasmic is pretty cool. I was a little let down with Walt Disney World's But and I think it might just be the area that they have it in. They weren't able to do a lot of what we can do. So it's kind of not fair for me to say. And then World of Color is awesome. Jim, you need to see World of Color. I hope they're playing it when you're there.
They will.
Because that is an awe moment in itself, and you need to fast pass it. We'll be fast passing that.
All right. My number one is, I don't know if it's my number one anymore.
Wow.
But I'm going to say it. If you're going to go on one ride in the park and you like thrill rides, I would say you have to go on Space Mountain. Space Mountain is a rush. You cannot, when we've gone from Disneyland to Walt Disney World, I'm let down when I go on Space Mountain because I don't want to spoil it for you, Jim, but it seems a lot faster than the one in Walt Disney World.
It's in the dark.
It's very
Spoiler
much
alert.
in the dark. So yeah, they changed it over time because at one time you could actually see a little bit like where the walkway was, but now they completely blackened it in there. So it's a different experience. And so that to me is, if you're going to ride on any ride, it's a must, Space Mountain. Now, I don't do a lot with some of these little things they do, like the it's a hyperspace one where they put projections up.
Star Wars.
I usually get sick on those because I look at that.
The beginning
and my
isn't-
eyes starts to do this kind of thing on it when we're going by.
The beginning isn't bad though when you're first going up the
No,
hill.
that's not. But
And they're doing hyperspace now, I think, Jim.
They
So you
are.
get to experience it.
they are. So besides that, I wish you could see Space Mountain without any of these overlays on it. But even then, the hyperspace one is an okay one, and it's pretty cool.
The Ghost Galaxy one for Space Mountain is cool too. And when I went to Paradise Pier, I got to do the magic hours, and I think I went on Space Mountain like 9 times in a row, or 7 to 9 times at least. Eventually, it's my favorite ride there, but eventually I kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna stop because it's taking away the magic. I went so many times, it was kind of like, okay, it's lost its feeling that you get for now, and then later on I'll go on it again. But when you go on a ride that many times in a row, it's fun, but it's just not the same. But it's a really fun ride. You'll like it.
All right, Jim. What is the number one thing you are looking forward to?
The number one thing I'm looking forward to, and you had mentioned this in jest earlier in the day, but it's true. I'm looking most forward to meeting you guys and everybody else that has reached out and said, "Could we get together? We'd love to meet you." All that stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to most, and to walk the parks with you guys, and for you to be my tour guide. Really, I don't want to put that on you if you don't want to do it, but I want to know more about the parks. I've got an appointment with Arnie from Pepper Tree Villa to ride Mr. Toad ride, so I'm looking forward to that, and whatever insight, the bullet in the Haunted Mansion. That's the stuff I'm looking forward to. Hearing stuff like that, or just oh, you want to go this way instead of that way, whatever it is. To meet you guys, to be with you in the park, and to experience it with seasoned professionals like yourselves. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
We'll all have a good time, and we'll all do what everybody wants to do, and it'll be fun.
Flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you, Jim.
Oh my God, she doesn't have to flatter anyone.
By the way, can I just say, just to go back a subject ago, the doctor isn't going to wear a light on his forehead. The doctor is going to use a camera. And what's concerning to me is he said it's the camera on his laptop, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But yeah, no light on his forehead.
And he'll be logged into YouTube too as he puts the camera there.
Probably.
Thank you, Pepper Tree Villa. They said we're phenomenal, so thank you. Derek said, "This is unacceptable. We need 5 more
That's
hours."
yeah. I was saying stuff back to them. Thank you, Disney Nerd Herders.
Yeah. There's a Disney. Yeah, there's a bullet in the Haunted Mansion in the glass. So we'll point that out to you. But it's cool little bit of history and behind Disney. The one thing is, if people are going out for G23 for the first time and they're going to the Disney parks,
Which is our
if
first
you've
time.
been to Walt Disney World and you go to Disneyland, be aware that it's you can't compare the 2 resorts. it's always better to me, I think, to start at Disneyland and go to Walt Disney World, because you're going to be let down, because Disney World is a world of Disney. It's a huge destination.
This is after Disneyland, though.
It's a destination, and the things they learned from Disneyland, they made sure that when they built Walt Disney World, they corrected things. So that's mainly size, the space, how much land there is out there.
So you may not have Disney World if Disneyland didn't even exist.
Exactly. But once you leave the gates of Disney off the property, you're surrounded by city. It's not like that in Walt
A lot of other
Disney
things
World.
too.
I compare it more to Disneyland Paris. There's 2 parks in Walt Disney World, or Disneyland Paris. There's 2 parks. They have hotels based around both areas. And they have a downtown Disney, so they're more similar to each other than Walt Disney World is to it. So I always say, come in with an open mind. Look at the uniqueness of what Disneyland has to offer compared to Magic Kingdom. Also, the resort in general. Disney California Adventure, to me, has hints of Hollywood Studios as well as hints of Epcot. And it also has gone off now with the Pixar theme, with the Pixar Pier, and also Cars Land. So Cars Land has come into, or Disney California Adventures has come into its own. It's the uniqueness of it. So if you compare it with, oh wow, Disney World is better, you're going to get let down when they come in. So come in with an open mind. This is a park that Walt Disney built, Disneyland, and I think people will see the uniqueness and the history, knowing that this is the park that Disney built, had his hands on, and that to me is always special when we look at the parks. Disneyland is my favorite park. It's Greg's favorite park. So it's a special park for many reasons for us. But so definitely come in with an open mind.
I was talking today with someone about, it was actually Bob from Bob and Ashley, and I was saying, when you go to Disneyland or even Walt Disney World, I think it's only happened with me with Disneyland, but when you go to Disneyland, I'll just say, and you go with someone that has never been, it's more exciting. I feel excited and happy for that person because I know what's in store for them. And it brings back the feelings of how I felt when I first went. And not that it's boring as you go along, as you keep going back to the parks. It's just a different feeling than what you have when you first go for your first time. So for you, Jim, this is kind of going to be, in a sense, your first time because you're going to actually go to remember it. Even though you've...
Well, we'll see. I don't know. No promises. I'll try.
You were 6 years old, you
said. Dilly, Jim.
So you said you don't remember it. So this is kind of, in a sense, respectfully, your first time in a way, because you're going to be able to take everything in this time and remember things. So it's going to be really exciting for me, and I think also for Derick, knowing that it's your first time, and then our friend Chris, it's his first time going there. So it just makes it more exciting for us, and us more excited because we're excited for you guys. We know what you're going to be feeling, and we're just happy that you're going to be able to experience that. So
yeah, I can't wait to share that with you.
Yeah, it makes you think back when you first went and the feelings you had, and it's just, we're going to have a lot of fun. So
Disney Nerd Herd
no doubt about it.
Asked a question: how do the cast members compare with the 2 resorts? Which is probably going to be very interesting. I think everyone will have their own opinion.
Yeah, we've heard mixed reviews.
We always feel, and a lot of people I've heard will say Disneyland has more interactive cast members. DisLyfeOfOurs was saying when they went, they felt Walt Disney World had better cast members.
Way to call them out there.
And our experience in Disney World hasn't always been like overly amazing. So I think it might just be the...
Where has it been overly amazing?
In Walt Disney World. I mean, we've had some moments where like thinking, well, they're not as good as the cast members in Disneyland. So it's maybe just whatever you experience. I mean, we did probably have our worst experience on Soarin' Over California, which we won't say. But
well, no, go into it a little bit. She, just to be funny, she reminded us of Roz from Monsters, Inc. The one that says, "I'm watching you, always watching." She kind of reminded us of that because she asked us how many people, and I said, I just said, can we have the front, please? And she told us to go to the front, and she said, how many? And I said, I think I said how many we had. I said, can we go to the front? And then when we were walking, one of our friends overheard her say something which wasn't very nice. And I just thought, that's very un-Disney-like. But
she said basically just answer the question.
Yeah.
And we're like, whoa.
Now, does Disneyland rely on the college program for its cast members as much as Walt Disney World does? Because I've heard that might be a reason why there's a difference in the service you get from the two parks, because you might have people that have more of an investment in the Disneyland Park because they're going to be there longer, while these college kids are only there for a short time. So I didn't. Do you know about that?
I don't know if they have a college program, but I would imagine it's not as involved as Walt Disney World, just because of the size of Walt Disney World and
I
all
was
the
asking
other
you about that the other day.
networks about that. I mean, that would, I don't think Matthew and Lauren are here. That would be a better ones to be able to ask that. So we'll find that out, and we'll ask that answer on the later one. We have the lucky minute that came in. So welcome, Amanda. She said didn't get notifications, so she unsubscribed and subbed again. So thank you, I appreciate that. There was another question too.
I thought. Dry throat right now.
Sorry guys, I thought there was another question that
it's an unofficial
You
chat
for
check.
Wisdom videos. Will it be a group live stream from Disney? I'm hoping we can. I mean, a little bit about what our plans are. We're picking them up on Thursday or around midday from LAX. We're driving down to Disney. So we're planning on checking into the hotel right away. We're on Disney property, but we're not staying at a Disney hotel. Then we're going to go to California Adventure on Thursday. On Friday, we're going to spend all day in Disneyland. And then on Saturday, we're going to go to D23. And we're hoping to spend the night in California Adventure, which would basically give us a full day at that moment in both parks. And then on Sunday, they are flying home. So we're taking them back to the airport on Sunday. So that's a little bit of what we're doing. Hopefully, maybe sometime on Friday, we might vlog from there, do a live show.
Did you say staying the night in California Adventures?
Ending the night in California Adventure. I probably did.
I was like, wait, what? We're staying the night? They're going to let us stay there?
Yeah, so that's going to be our experience, what we're doing in there. So we're looking at having a good time and just hanging out with these guys here.
Yep. Whatever anybody wants to do, we will go with the flow and have fun.
Yep.
Jim and Chris will be like two kids in a candy store. They won't know what to do first.
I can't wait. That's why I need your guidance.
Go wherever the magic takes you, wherever you feel you should be at that point.
All right. What's your favorite snack? If I could just ask you, what's your favorite Disneyland snack?
That's hard. There's things that I always try to get. So
I know what mine
I
is.
like a chimichanga. I love chimichangas. Do they have chimichangas in Walt Disney World?
I don't know. Maybe it's like pico spill or something. But I don't know. I'm not positive about that.
Yeah, chimichanga is a deep fried burrito, so they're usually about like big. I mean, they're pretty long. And then in one of the, it's a Mexican restaurant, which I forgot the name of it, but they have these cinnamon crisps that are kind of like, they're not potato chips, but they're kind of like a deep fried thing. And they are really good. Those are another thing that I have to have. Greg always gets popcorn.
Well, thanks for just taking away my answer. Yes, my favorite snack is the popcorn at Disneyland. And I always think of Walt Disney because there was like a special on TV or something that I saw. And he was talking about the popcorn, how he always had to have some popcorn. And there's nothing like the smell of their fresh popcorn. That's what I always like to wait for. Not the stuff that's just sitting there, but when it's actually popping fresh, that's when I like to go get it. And I normally get it right before the fireworks show. My least favorite snack, I would probably say, is, and don't hate me for this, anybody, but the Mickey Mouse pretzel. I find it very dry. It doesn't have a lot of taste, and you have to dunk it in a lot of cheese to get any kind of wetness on it. I don't like the word moist, but just the wetness of the cheese.
He wished it would be a little bit more moist.
My favorite pretzel, though, would be Wetzel's Pretzel, which they do have at Downtown Disney, which does count as a Disney snack in my book.
The one thing that we want you guys to try is, you've heard, like, don't eat the snow where the Huskies go. Well, Disney being Disney, Disney being Disney,
say that.
They do have the abominable snowman yellow snow.
Say that word
cone.
again.
Something.
No, say abominable again.
The Yeti. The yellow snow from the Yeti.
Yes, and that's a really
very good.
Yeah,
it sounds delicious.
Well, it's a yellow smoothie ice cream type thing, and if you get it, I would highly suggest the yellow with the blue. Inside there's like a blue. It's like a berry type flavor. It's really good. That's one that we had.
Disney Nerd Herders asked if I know how to do the Heimlich in case you start choking.
That's what I was saying. I have a cold that I'm getting over, and my throat got dry.
Derick, thank you so much for joining us. It's always odd saying my name. So thank you for joining. I appreciate you coming by and watching our stream.
And I did mention Wetzel's Pretzel. Him and I always have the debate. He likes Auntie Anne's, and I like Wetzel's Pretzel. And they just redid some of Downtown Disney, so the new Wetzel's Pretzel looks even more amazing than it did before. And every time I go, I say, I'm going to get a Wetzel's Pretzel, and I never get one. Like the past 3 times. By golly, I'm going to get one when we go in August.
And another thing that we normally get is it's the big cookies. They're probably like this big, and they're like that tall. And they have it's like a white chocolate raspberry swirl cookie. And
yeah,
at the Marceline Confectionery. Yeah. You can get them in other places in it, but the Marceline Confectionery is.
And you can see through the big pane of glass where they're making their famous candy apples, like all different kinds of candy apples. It's really good.
Does the yellow snow come in chocolate? I think they might have a chocolate.
I'm not even going to go there with that one.
I think they do have chocolate. We had blueberry with it.
Not going to touch that one.
Amanda, the new shake place is called the Black Tap Restaurant.
That's a nice place. Those shakes are ridiculous. I mean, literally, they're ridiculous. They're big enough to feed a family of 4 or 5, and they come to your plate just overflowing and dripping all over the place. It's very messy.
Yeah, but June and Rachel's didn't. Ours did for some reason.
Ours did. We had
maybe because we had a hot churro in it and it melted it.
It wasn't a hot churro.
It was hot. Let me tell you.
It wasn't hot to me. Not like chili hot, but we had like a cinnamon churro choco taco type of a sundae or a milkshake, and around the rim of the top of the glass, I don't know how they do it, but they stuck cinnamon toast crunch around the rim, and then they stuck a choco taco in the middle with the rest of the ice cream, and then the 2 churros in there.
So the choco taco is basically a taco, but it's like a waffle cone texture.
The pictures are on our Facebook if you want to look at them.
Inside the taco is vanilla ice cream, and the whole thing is covered by a chocolate coating. So
you guys know I have not eaten anything in 20 hours, right?
Oh, sorry, Jim. You'll like it when you get to have one in August.
This must be June. He says, hold up, D&G Explorers, no shirt changes. This is madness. We won't be able to sleep through the night now. That's what DisLyfe said. Yeah, we only had our normal wardrobe this time. That's awesome.
Oh, June, Rachel, and June's beard really enjoyed it. Yeah, June did get a little bit of shake on his beard. I told DisLyfeOfOurs in person. I said on our show where we did wardrobe changes, we had more wardrobe changes than Cher that day, and they just busted out laughing. So we'll have to do wardrobe changes next time.
All right, we'll work that into our next one. So we are looking next week. We're going to be doing a cruise show. We have a guest that we have asked to come on, and
we've never had them
doing
on
the final
before.
things of it. Nope. Yep. So hope you guys are excited about who we have. We have a couple of channels spread out. 2 weeks after that, we're going to do our own show because we're going to try something a little bit fun with a little bit different technology. So just a couple things what we're doing over the next, we will be releasing the video on pop-up either next week or the following week, just as I want to have a little bit of fun with that video as much as I can. So
it was a lot of fun doing that experience. And if you want to end up doing that, Jim, it's going to be there still. We won't have any problem redoing it again. It was a lot of fun.
I think he's going to stay in the parks.
Whatever. You're my tour guides. You tell me where to go.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it for the show. We've been on for almost an hour and a half. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate you coming by and watching. Jim, as we like to end our shows, anything you'd like to add, the things that you've done recently? Next.
I want to thank everybody in the chat for their well wishes for tomorrow. Thank you very much for that. You know what's amazing is since about 2:30 my time, I've gone to the bathroom regularly, and I can't believe I made it through this whole show without getting up one time. So I guess I'm ready. That means I'm ready. So we'll see. So thank you guys for having me on the show. Derick, before you even ask me to say it, I'll just say, can I get some more sunshine, please?
You had a really good live show last night from Epcot, so that was really
a lot of fun
to see. Yeah, so if you guys haven't had a chance to watch that, please check that out.
And he has a good video with Typhoon Lagoon with his son. We actually got to watch it yesterday, and that was a lot of fun too. So
thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're gonna go to Blizzard Beach, and then eventually we'll compare the two water parks. So we're looking for a lot of fun doing that. Thanks.
I still have to go to Typhoon Lagoon. We've been to Blizzard Beach, but I've never been to Typhoon Lagoon, and I want to see the big shipwreck thing that they have on the mountain and everything. It looks cool.
All right, guys. Well, want to thank for all the mods who've joined us and helped us with the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you for the support channels, Jim, DisLyfeOfOurs, Bob and Ashley, RobFuz, who couldn't make it in tonight. I don't want to spoil it in case he does something, but he went to a show tonight, which is kind of interesting. I find the guy fascinating. So maybe he'll say some more about it, but I don't want to rain on his parade. But Jim is or Rob is our power station. So thank you guys for all your support. Check these guys out. Check the creators out in here. If you guys don't have a YouTube channel and you want to look for good content. And thanks for everything, you guys. Thank you for so much the support.
We're getting excited for D23, and can't wait to meet Jen and everyone else that's going to be there. Bob and Ash are going to be there. A lot of other YouTubers that we know of. Pepper Tree Villa is going to be there.
I think Alana Zingano is going to be there.
So we'll have to run into some of them there. I'm sure we'll run into them at some point.
Yeah. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much again. As we like to end our shows, as Walt Disney says,
we are just getting started. Everybody have a nice night.
Night, guys.